The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien coming to you live from TFNN Thursday, 8:30 a.m., 60 minutes to go until that opening bell. We're about to get weekly jobless claims right as we speak. Right now, you got the S&P down about 10 points, trading at 35.54. We're off of the lows of the session. Those lows made. We'll zoom it in at about 5 a.m. this morning. Things looking a little bleak. We were down there as low as 35.42. You spike about 20 points above that level. Oops, back it up to a level of about 35.64, and we've backed off about 10 points in the S&P right now, trading at 35.55. NASDAQ off 26 points, 11,871. All the markets selling off a little bit towards the end of the day yesterday. Get the Dow off 83 points, 29,308, and the Russell off 4 points, 1763. Crude, negative 25 cents at 41.75. Get the gold contract, negative $18 at 18.55, about a couple dollars away from that low we made at about 4 a.m. Eastern time in gold. Silver contract down 62 cents right now. Silver trading at 23.82. And we got notes and bonds. We'll zoom it in. The 10-year up 4 ticks. We're looking at a yield right now of 0.859%. So we're a little bit higher in price, lower in yield. 0.859%. The 10-year up 4 ticks. The 30-year up 20 ticks. And we'll jump over to the VIX. Volatility index right now coming in at 23.79. A little bit of an elevated level as we saw a little bit of a sell-off end of the day yesterday, and markets a little bit of negative to start things off today. All right, weekly jobless claims. We get the number at 8:30, 742,000. About 30 to 32,000 more than the market was looking for, which was about 710,000. I say it every Thursday. In any other world, this would be an all-time record. Really, in any other year, it would be an all-time record. The prior record before COVID of weekly jobless claims, because these are new. These are people filing new weekly jobless claims, was 695,000, 698,000, 692,000, something like that. We haven't seen those levels since the likes of March, but man, oh man, quite the level. But the S&P, let's see how we're reacting. There's your 830 bar. Pretty muted response, right? We're down about a couple points right now in the S&Ps, but off of the lows of the overnight session that we made at about 5 a.m. Eastern time. All right, we got to jump over to Bitcoin. 18,000 on the dot. How about it right now? 18,000 on the dot. Bitcoin made it to as high as 18,540. That was basically at midnight Tuesday, coming into Wednesday. We're quite a little consolidation. If you talk about maybe 17.5 to 18.5 was the spike high, sitting right at about 18,000. Some context on Bitcoin. It seems all but assured, right? Well, that's a daily for 5 years. Too much. There's your weekly for 5 years. All but assured. We got to test that high. We're at 18,000. The high is 20,000. We only saw these prices for 1 week, the first week that Bitcoin went shortable on a regulated exchange. I believe it was the CME or the CBOT. I believe it's the CME offered futures. You go from 20,000 to 3,000. But since then, 18,030 right now, above 18,000 for Bitcoin shares. All right, jumping around to what else we got going on. It is still a big week in retail earnings. Macy's out with their numbers this morning, trading a little bit lower from about $9 till $8.47. Jumping around to see what Macy's had to say. Third quarter, same-store sales dropped by more than 20%. Pretty remarkable, right? We saw earlier in the week you had Walmart, Target, Home Depot, Lowe's. Same-store sales, 15, 20, even 30% almost for some of those stores. You jump over to Macy's, same-store sales declining of more than 20%. Consumers cut back their spending on clothes and accessories at department stores, of course, during the coronavirus pandemic. Net sales fell to $3.99 billion from $5.17 a year earlier. Digital sales grew 27%. I mean, not really a big number. Macy's, they probably have to grow their online sales more than 27% at a time when restrictions are causing their stores to be shut down. I mean, we're seeing Walmart and Target with numbers that are just astronomical, the online growth that they're putting up. And you got Macy's only growing online at 27%. They miss in terms of dropping their revenue by almost $1.2 billion over 90 days compared to last year. To get into the raw numbers, loss of 19 cents versus maybe 79 they were looking for. Revenue was a beat as well, but the market saying, listen, these expectations, they were pretty rough. Same-store sales on an owned plus licensed basis, whatever that means, a little fundamental jargon, down 20.2%. They were looking for 23.3%. They grew at 27% online. Nonetheless, not really great numbers, and the chart reacting down a bit to 848 this morning. We had Nvidia out with their numbers after the bell last night. Beat on both earnings and revenue. Sales up 57%. Getting into their numbers, $291 a share versus $257. Revenue, $4.73 billion versus $4.41 billion. But stock was trading down last night, and I believe it's trading down again this morning. The big quarter driven by its compute networking segment, up 146% from a year earlier, also boosted by the company's graphics segment. Excuse me, jumping over to Nvidia shares this morning. NVDA is their symbol. Yeah, and there you see the drop-off right away. Now, look at that. It's clawed it back. We had the conference call starting at about 5:15 last night. Looks like that conference call provided a little bit of glimmer, a little bit of hope, because you traded from about 5:18 to 5:33. We closed yesterday at 5:37, so you're only down about $4 right now on Nvidia shares. And for some context on this stock, because context is always important, from 180 to almost 600. Yeah, you better be delivering gangbusters numbers, folks. If you're trading from 180 to almost 600, pre-COVID, we were trading at about 300, and you came into the calendar year at about 235 for Nvidia shares. All right, let's jump around to some of the stocks that had earnings this week, just for a quick rundown. We had Walmart. They were out with their numbers on Tuesday early, right? It said Tuesday early? Yes, Tuesday early. They were out with their numbers, trading a little bit lower. Again, pretty amazing numbers in the long run, but they've been trading pretty dramatically higher. I mean, you want to back things up. This run it's had from 100 to 150. Really, the acceleration you had from 130 up to 150 was the announcement of the Walmart Plus plans. I believe it's $98, right? Free grocery deliveries, gas perks, kind of a competition to Amazon Prime. And you came into earnings, just so we're aware of where we were, you came into earnings at about 153. The spike high was 151 here in September 3rd. You traded from 130 to 150 in a company like Walmart, okay? Not supposed to be some crazy growth company, okay? A company like Walmart, and they do have to grow because they have to compete with Amazon. But you traded dramatically from 130 to 150, came into this number, and yeah, we backed off a bit to about 149.18 right now in Walmart. Target, a little bit of a different story, but they gave back a lot of what they had yesterday. Look at that sell-off, right? You come into their numbers at about 164, a little bit maybe 163. You spike to 172. They give it up, though, to 167. We're going to open a little bit higher this morning for Target. We also had Kohl's out with their numbers. They traded pretty much higher to 28. And then the Home Depot and the Lowe's. Pretty same deal. Home Depot, slightly lower on their numbers. Lowe's, lower on their numbers as well. Strong numbers. Just a staggering performance already for those two equities. Stay tuned, folks. Lots to cover on Thursday action. We'll be right back in 3 minutes.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We got the S&Ps negative by 8 points right now. NASDAQ negative 27. The Dow off 70. Russell off 3 points. All the indices relatively near the all-time highs as we come into November 19th. Pretty amazing that it's November 19th already of this year. Jumping around to other stories out there. So this one I found interesting from Bloomberg, talking about the down payments of what people are putting down on their houses. You've seen the yields rise a bit. They've paired now. I mean, we were up to almost hitting about 1% on the 10-year, right? We've paired a bit. I think the 10-year is back at about 0.85%. But you've seen some rising yields. You've seen tightening restrictions on some of the lending going on, credit standards in terms of COVID, maybe a little bit of making sure that those lenders have their ducks in order, things don't get too exacerbated in the market. But pretty interesting when you look at the numbers here that $20,775 in the third quarter. That was the median down payment for a single-family home and condo in the U.S., the most in records going back to 2000. That's up 69% from a year earlier. A year earlier, 1 year ago, the down payment on a single-family home and condo was $12,300. Fast forward 12 months, and the down payment is $20,775. I mean, be aware of this. This is like part of the reason, okay? I didn't know about this data, but it makes sense of what's going on. Part of the reason why, for Home Depot, their earnings, we sold a call spread. All right, it's going to be really tough in the next few months for Home Depot to accelerate higher when they've had such a move already, and you have the housing market maybe facing a little bit of a pause, and I hesitate because it is a strong, strong market. But when you start seeing this, okay, and you start seeing that the down payment is almost doubling to get into a home buyer, I mean, look at this chart here. All right, that is off the charts in terms of the down payment. Okay, yeah, you're backing it up. We were there in 2018, 2017, but look where we are. In 2010, it was 5,000 people were putting down as you were coming out of the housing crisis, right? Even back to as recent as 2013, you're talking about 10,000. You back it up to Q1 of 2019, and you're under 10,000, and we're dealing with 20,800. So mortgage companies raking in cash in the midst of the pandemic, earning hefty margins while consumers flood in to buy homes, refinance existing homes, taking advantage of that 3% 30-year basically. Lenders, including JP Morgan, tightened terms for borrowers amid widespread worry about future economic growth. Interesting to keep your eye on in that housing market, especially in the long run. It's a great way to put your money at these rates, folks. In the short run, you might see a little bit of volatility there. All right, speaking of volatility, today, it's a big day, folks. 9 a.m., we're talking about 15 minutes from right now, Basil Chapman. He's beginning his live all-day webinar. He's going to be in there, folks, from 9 a.m. till 4:30 p.m. today. He's going to kick things off in 15 minutes for everyone that's in there. Subscriber, you can get in there right now on the front page of TFNN. It's $295. That comes with a month of his daily newsletter, the opening call. That's $128 value right there. Opening call subscribers gain access to, I think it's like 7 or 8 archived webinars as part of his daily trading service. This all-day webinar will be archived as well. If you can't go from 9 till 4:30 today, if you can only make it for a few hours, the whole class will be archived, available on your account page. Check it out on the front page of TFNN. You'll be in there with Basil for a half hour before the market opens. 9 till 9:30, setting up the day ahead. 9 till noon, 3-hour session in the morning. He'll take about a 45-minute break for lunch. 1 till 4, he'll be in there in the afternoon. The technical tools based on the Chapman Wave methodology explained live, a detailed all-day online course. And then from 4 till 4:30, he'll wrap up the day, go over everything. He's going to be taking questions the whole time. We got a bunch of people signed up for this class. We're also allowing anybody who attended the class in April to go. Should be a good group of people in there in the room asking questions. Should be in great atmosphere. I'm going to jump in there when I get the opportunity to today myself. So check it out on the front page at TFNN.com. You can still sign up and attend that webinar, kicking things off at 9 a.m. Eastern time. Okay, what else we got? Jumping around to some of the vaccine news. So Oxford study. This is yet another vaccine from AstraZeneca. Scrolling down, University of Oxford confirmed that the COVID-19 vaccine it's developing with AstraZeneca produced strong immune responses in older adults in an early study. Key findings from the last phase of tests expected in the coming weeks. So this is very preliminary. They will get a data readout will come after there have been 53 confirmed cases in their trial. That has not happened yet, I believe. So the Astra and Oxford will release a high-level result of the trials once they pass the infection benchmark immediately. Good news is these vaccines, they're all showing tremendous acceleration and tremendous effectiveness. And the more you have, it doesn't have to be one that wins out, right? There may be one in terms of Moderna, able to be stored a lot easier than the one from Pfizer because of the cold storage. You might see that just disseminated quicker because you can store it in the fridge for 30 days without it going bad. Moderna, they're ramping up their production. I found this interesting today looking at, it's actually a Swiss company, Lonza Group. They are making a dramatic amount of this vaccine. Actually, most of the production of the drug substance for Moderna's vaccine is running via Lonza, Swiss company, long history of partnering with big drug makers. They're building out capacity for 400 million doses a year. 300 million are run on their 3 production lines in Switzerland and 100 million in New Hampshire. And Moderna itself has 1 production line with capacity for 100 million doses a year. That right there is 500 million doses in a year. Hopefully they ramp that up. And that's just talking about Moderna. At the same time, you're going to have Pfizer pushing out theirs. And hopefully we get this done ASAP. All right. How about this story? No cash at the Super Bowl, folks. The Super Bowl in Tampa this year. I hope everybody stays safe. We're going to get, COVID cases spiking a little bit right now, a big Super Bowl, but it's going to be a diminished capacity, and they're going to do no cash. It's actually going to be a reverse ATM. That's right. If you bring cash, they're going to have machines that will say, I'll take that cash from you, and I will give you a Visa ATM debit card in return. Pretty remarkable. Excuse me, and you can see, I read this, and I said, this is where every single big event is going. And I'm talking about concerts, sporting events, okay? The ease that they will be able to process orders. Now, this, I imagine, is to help with COVID in terms of not changing cash left and right. But if you are a huge venue, right, and you got people, I mean, we've all seen the lines for food and beverages and drinks at concerts and sporting events. And every time somebody has to pull out cash, make change, do that, it's a lot more hassle than just taking credit cards. Of course, people love it in terms of if you're running those businesses, you don't have to worry about slippage of cash disappearing for cash sales, something to consider as well. But just the speed of transaction of credit cards. So they're going to have ATMs on site where you put your cash in there and out pops your Visa debit card. Pretty remarkable. For the first time, 55 years, cash not accepted. Okay, so a cash-free Super Bowl was the main goal of our new contract. This is Visa. The plan was to get a cash-free Super Bowl within 5 years, and we're doing it in less than 2. It's what's happening, folks. Everything accelerated by the virus, and you're seeing it here. And I would imagine the same thing's going to be happening. I've been to a couple music festivals in my time, and they have the same deal. You basically had to turn everything into tickets is one way to do it, right? It just eliminates that process speed at the time of purchase. So this year, bring your credit cards because cash not accepted at the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. Maybe Tampa Bay and Tom Brady will be playing in it. Patriots, they get some work to do. We'll be right back, folks, to finish up the show. Stay tuned.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us, and Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step-by-step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. Looking at the markets, we get the S&Ps negative by 6, NASDAQ negative 21 right now, the Dow off 55, and the Russell off about 2 points. You see the reaction on that jobless claims number? Pretty muted reaction. We're talking about only a few points of action. And putting it graphically, I mean, we're still in territory that we are just stagnant, stuck at about 750,000 jobs that we're losing every single week for weekly jobless claims number, hitting that in a big way this morning out at 8:30. But the market pretty much saw that one coming, I would say. All right, what else we got going on? Don't forget, folks, Basil Chapman kicks things off in about 5 minutes for his all-day class, the Chapman Wave Methodology, a detailed online course. Check that out on the front page of TFNN.com. And what else? Jumping around to some of the other headlines. What else did I have up here? I had one screen up ready to talk about. Where am I? Where's my story? No, okay. I was going to jump through some of these stocks. I think I might have closed down my window. But let's just jump around to some of the FANG stocks while we wrap it up. AMZN, Amazon shares this morning off a bit. NASDAQ's off about 20 points. You got Amazon off a bit. Microsoft shares off a bit as well. Up a pennies. We were as low as 210, 211.35 this morning from Microsoft. Netflix shares pretty much flat. And we got to check in on Tesla. Tesla shares $4.99, $1 shy of $500 this morning for Tesla shares. Jumping around to some others, they're talking about Roku in the den this morning, maybe talking about Roku teaming up with AT&T for HBO Max following Amazon's agreement. Roku, a little bit of a pop there from 232. We're trading at about 235. This stock, talk about a rocket. You don't need many Fibonacci numbers on this one, folks, when it's a straight rocket ship from 50 to 255 for Roku, as that is a strong company in a big way, accelerating during restrictions. Checking in on gold off about 16 bucks. Pretty interesting. Watch this level, folks. That 382 retracement, talking about 1847.80. Zooming it in, you can see where we've been. How about touching it right on the line November 9th? We were back there in September, and we're back there again today at 1857. Stay tuned, folks. We got Larry Pesavento. He's coming up live next. We'll be right back.